Hey everybody out there, this is Seto, and today for you guys we're going to be doing a deck profile of a deck that I thoroughly enjoy, and I've been waiting to profile this deck ever since the new Master Rule came out in Master Rule 5, and that is my Fabled deck. So this deck is really fun to play around with actually under Master Rule 5. I really haven't been able to play this deck in years. I played it back prior to Master Rule 4, but Master Rule 4 kind of hurt this deck quite a lot. However, with the revisions, the deck is a lot more playable now, actually. Saying all that, the deck is pretty straightforward in what it can do. We do have some new toys we can play around with in the form of things like Needle Fiber, aka Crystron Polyfibrax, which you can make in the deck very easily because this is pretty much a very synchro-oriented deck. But without further ado, let us get into the deck profile, guys. The deck is super fun to play around with, I would say, overall, and I thoroughly have been enjoying playing it. So first off, we run 3 Fabled Grimro. This is actually the reason back when this deck originally came out in Hidden Arsenal, because it's one of those old school Hidden Arsenal decks, you know, that I loved playing, that was very synchro oriented, along with, you know, Fables and Lavals, which I'm actually trying to work on a Laval deck profile for you guys. Along with those decks, this was one of those decks that I loved playing, that could bring out Quasar back in the day and things of that nature. But the artwork of this card of Grimroll is the reason I picked it up originally. Like, I've DT'd a lot of the rest of the deck, but you know, I kept certain cards hollows because I just really like them as secret rares. Grimro is one of those cards, but she's pretty much like a searcher for the deck. One thing, if you guys are not familiar with Fables, when they discard, they usually get their effects off to either special summon them back from the graveyard or things of that nature. But Grimro is kind of a searcher for Fables in a way. Next we have 3 the Fabled Ganesh. He's pretty good as a 3-of in the deck, I would say, overall. He can special summon himself out if he's discarded. Pretty straightforward. Used to creep me out, this card, but I finally got all the DTs of it, though. 2 Curse. This amazing girl, some people run it as a 3-of and a 2-of. I've been going back and forth recently, I will say that. From my humble experience, I like her as a 2-of recently. She can help you recur things from grave, which is nice. So 3 Curse in the deck. Next we run 3 Fabled Lurie, which is nice as a 3-of in the deck. Very nice to have this card, actually. Will really help you out with your synchro plays, and having that extra monster as a level 1. Pretty good. Lurie is definitely a staple 3-of in my opinion. 3 Noodle. I'm not going to pronounce his name. If you want to try to pronounce it, go right ahead. I just call him Noodle Lizard. Even though he's not a reptile, he's a beast apparently. So Noodle Beast? I mean, whatever you want to call him. But he's pretty decent as a 3-of in the deck, I find. Pretty straightforward with him as well. Pretty much, if you guys don't know, most Fable monsters are either Beast or Fiend. So do keep that in mind, because you'll see some cards later down the road that we're running in the main deck and extra deck that, or for that reason, we're running them. So next we run 3 Fabled Raven. This is an amazing card in the deck. Raven can just help you dump a whole bunch of Fables to graveyard and just get all their effects off. I love her as a 2-of. I think it's I don't know if it's a dude or a girl, but whatever. You are able to dump everything out from your hand, get all their effects off, and just go off and do a whole bunch of cool combo plays. So Raven is definitely a staple 3-of in my opinion. I've seen certain decks, versions of Fables, not even run, you know, Raven, and that's fine. Like, this version does not run Dangers. If you want to include Dangers, go right ahead. You're more than welcome to. Me, I wanted to try to build it as not a pure build, but just more of like a synchro spam build that can go for, you know, low-level synchros and work its way up to, you know, bigger synchros if you want it to do that way. But you can go a different route if you want to. That's up to you. But this way has been working out pretty well for me thus far. So 3 Fabled Raven in the deck. 3 Fabled Cherubim. This is one I don't know if I'm going to cut down to 2-of. I've been playing around with different tuners in the deck and just trying to find a nice balance, like I was saying earlier. For Curse, I'm thinking about maybe bumping her up to 3-of. I've gone back and forth. with Chawa. I've worked with the flying little bird beast thing that freaks me out. But I've thought about cutting this down to 2 of and running one of these. I don't know. Your thoughts would be most welcome as I'm revisiting this deck for the first time under Master Rule 5, and down the road I'll definitely do another update. But for me playtesting it online and in real life, I like it as a 3 of, but that's susceptible. That may change down the road. 3 Chawa. I love him. He's so cute. We run him as a 3 of in the deck. Level 1 Beast Tuner. Pretty straightforward. Awesome card. Then we run 1 Fabled Kasun. This guy's pretty nice. If you guys don't know, some people run this in their Fabled deck and some people do not. And that's up to you to decide if you want to run it or not. Me personally, from playtesting, I like it as a 1 of in the deck. If you guys don't know what it does, you can discard 1 Fable monster to the graveyard, except this Fable monster, to add this card from your graveyard to your hand. So it's a way, if I've had certain situations where you're able to you can use this card to help discard another Fable to get its effect off, and then you can recycle this. So I like it as a 1 of in the deck. It's really nice to have. Same thing goes with Fabled Catsif. When I was revisiting building this deck, I was like, oh, do I really want to run Fabled Catsif? And I decided to run it at the end of the day. I used to run this card back when, in Blue Eyes White Dragon actually, because Blue Eyes White Dragon could search it out as a level 1 tuner monster. So what Fabled Catsif does is it helps you destroy monsters on your opponent's side of the field. So it's kind of like a hand trap. But it's a nice level 1 in the deck. I used to play it back with Blue Eyes, and as I was revisiting this deck, I was like, do I really want to run it? And at the end of the day, I said, yeah, I like it as a 1 of in the deck. So 1 Fabled Catsif as well. 3 Dark World Dealings. That's pretty straightforward there, guys. I mean, Dark World Dealings, discard, draw, get effects off. Pretty straightforward. Same thing goes with Monster Reincarnation. This card really works amazingly well in this deck for the fact that you're discarding, getting effects off, reoccurring things to rediscard them. Just an amazing card to have in the deck. 2D Synchro. Some people like running this as a 3 of. Me personally, I like it as a 2 of in the deck, even because this is a very heavy Synchro deck. It's something that I've tried as a 2 of and a 3 of. 3 of was a little bit too much because you have to have proper setup. So I wanted to see it sometimes, but not all the time. So I run Desynchro as a 2 of in the deck, and I like it as a 2 of. So it's kind of cool how you can detach, go into another Synchro play. You can do so much with this card, especially in a heavy spam Synchro deck, which is really cool. And like I said, this is my first time getting back into this deck after, with Master Rule 5 coming out. I haven't touched this deck in a couple of years, so feedback, constructive feedback is more than welcomed. Call by the Grave is a 3 of in the deck. I decided to run this over Ash Blossom because you don't want to get hand trapped. You really don't. And DD Crow hurts you so much. So yeah, 3 Call by the Grave, because hand traps are a pain. For your 1-ofs, we run 1 Air Sunrock. This is because a lot of your monsters are Beast, and like I said, they're Beast and Fiend, so I'm running 1 Air Sunrock. It's a pseudo monster reborn for them. 1 card destruction. This should be self-explanatory. You're going to get a whole bunch of effects off. It's just as good as it would be in Dark Worlds. 1 Upstart Goblin, giving you a little bit of draw power. 1 Foolish Burial for setup and grave. And 1 Monster Reborn because you're going to reborn stuff and do other combo plays. So pretty straightforward in that department. We're not running any traps. You don't need to. It's a heavy Synchro deck. Pretty straightforward there. We run the Akiza Field Center, and we run our 3 Fable Reigen, so 3 of that. Your Unicorn and your this thing, I call it Adabi. I'm mispronouncing these names, but these are just the Fable monsters you run. Something I've been playing around with. Again, new Master Rule, I have been playing around with the 2 old school Fable big guys, but they're still not worth running to some degree, so I'm just running these ones instead of these bad boys. But if you want to, you can maybe throw them in the extra deck. Just something I wanted to mention. Some other cards I've been trying out under Master Rule 5 just to see if they work. I do want to go over these before we get any further. I have tried Boral Sword. That's something. Hit Potion again, something else you could try because everything's light. I may add this back down the road, and Link Karibo is something else you may want to try out if you want to. So that's just my opinion. Continuing on, I do run 2 Formula Synchron for your Synchro plays. Really nice. You can bring this also out with needle fiber, which is cool. 1 TG Hyper Librarian. He's at 1 of. You expected him to go back to 1 of. Why not? 1 Shooting Rhizar Dragon. This is something I'm running with needle fiber, and you can also make it just in general. I really like this card in the deck. It's kind of cool. 1 Stardust Charge Warrior. This is something else I'm running in the deck. I like it. 1 Omega. Trishula. You've always made this in the deck for generations. You keep running it. Instead of Quasar, I'm running Cosmic Blazar Dragon, and I'm also running Needle Fiber because you can easily go into Needle Fiber. And when you go into Needle Fiber, well, there's cool plays you can do with Needle Fiber. So, yeah, I do like the 1 Needle Fiber. If you have any suggestions, you know, I've tried out TG Hyper Magician. Tried that out. I was okay with it. I mean, the deck already has a lot of tuners in the deck. You didn't really need to add any more. You can easily get the tuners out into the field and have something else, go into Needle Fiber, use Needle Fiber's effect, bring out another tuner, have something else on the field. I've had situations where I'm doing that, I go into this, and then I synchro my opponent's turn, and just, there's a lot of cool little plays you can do in this deck, which is really awesome. One thing I actually did, really crazy, is I was playing against a buddy of mine, and I was synchroing on his turn, and it was just so cool. With, you know, needle fiber combos you can do. So yeah, I mean, you run the needle fiber, but as for targets, I'm trying this out, and I'm trying Formula Synchron. I've said TG Hyper Magician's another one I've tried out. Any suggestions though would be welcome. But so far the deck has been performing pretty well. I thoroughly enjoy playing it. Like I said, I think it has a lot of potential with the new Master Rule to be a decent deck again. I don't think it's going to be meta by any stretch of the imagination. But any constructive criticism is also welcome as well, as I'm rebuilding this deck for the first time. Like I said, we'll do an update down the road, probably around Halloween, when I have more of a finalized version, but your constructive feedback is more than welcome. I love this deck. It's one of those decks, a passion deck that I've had for many years, and I thoroughly enjoy playing it. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope I did the deck justice. Any constructive criticism, again, like I said, for the 15th time is welcome. I did play this deck for a few weeks online and in real life. There really is not an updated deck profile at the time of me recording this at the end of April. That's currently out, so I didn't have anybody to really figure out how people's mindset had changed under the new Master Rule, so it's pretty much just go out there and practice and try your best. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. Until next time, take care, have fun dueling, good luck dueling. I'll see all of you guys next time. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a big thumbs up, and I'll see you guys next time. Good luck dueling to all of you guys. Take care.